Mini episode 619 of the FDH Lounge is brought to you by The Unheard Scene, your home for great music interviews of all stripes. Follow them on the web at unheardscene.com.
The FDH Lounge. You'll want to schedule your life around it.
A long time ago, on a gloomy, wet Cleveland spring night, two men stand alone amidst the late-night drizzle. Their voices echo across the vacant station parking lot as they debate the merits of the great American radio show that have been missing for far too long. On that night, an idea was born. That idea became the FDH Lounge. Welcome to the FDH Lounge.
Welcome to mini episode 619 of the FDH Lounge. This is FDH managing partner Rick Morris here with the FantasyDraftHelp.com insider for our 12th season covering the NFL. This is your Week 6 recommendation for fantasy football starters. We've got some preface notes that we'll be delivering every week. First of all, our advice is probably a bit different than some in the industry. We're not the place to go regarding the question of whether or not to play a healthy Aaron Rodgers this week. Aside from reiterating our list of gimmies, we don't discuss them beyond that. We're also not part of the movement that overstates the importance of week-to-week matchups. Sadly, if you bungled your draft or auction, there's not much except a stroke of great luck on the waiver wire that can salvage your season. Now, in very shallow leagues, you can pick up potential impact players off the waiver wire, but you hardly need a fantasy football industry source to tell you to do that. We play the percentages on giving our advice, which is all that anyone can do, even those in the industry who purport to own a crystal ball. You'll always get intellectual honesty from us. Okay, here's our list of constants for the season. When healthy, you don't jerk with these guys. You leave them in your lineup regardless of scary matchups. There are 4 quarterbacks: Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady. There are 9 running backs: Jamal Charles, Eddie Lacy, C.J. Anderson, Matt Forte, Marshawn Lynch, Jeremy Hill, Adrian Peterson, Le'Veon Bell, and DeMarco Murray. There are 8 wide receivers: Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham, Megatron, Demaryius Thomas, Dez Bryant, Julio Jones, Randall Cobb, and A.J. Green. There are 2 tight ends: Rob Gronkowski and Jimmy Graham. With the gimmies out of the way, in a moment, a look at the more marginal picks for this week. Folks, you're listening to the FantasyDraftHelp.com insider.
Get on up, stay on the scene.
What happened, Toast?
I think he's on steroids. It's like trying to cover a f***ing racehorse.
Get up, get on up, stay on the scene. Get on up like a sex machine. Get on up, get on up, stay on the scene. Get on up like a sex machine.
Remember, our recommendations for the Thursday NFL games are always up on our Twitter account at the FDH Lounge. Dallas, Oakland, St. Louis, and Tampa Bay are on the bye this week. We like 9 QBs this week: Sam Bradford, Jay Cutler, Andy Dalton, Joe Flacco, Eli Manning, Cam Newton, Carson Palmer, Phillip Rivers, and Russell Wilson. We like 16 running backs: Antonio Andrews, Giovanni Bernard, LeGarrette Blount, Melvin Gordon, Ronnie Hillman, Chris Ivory, Chris Johnson, Duke Johnson, Dion Lewis, Ryan Matthews, Lamar Miller, Thomas Rawls, Theo Riddick, Darren Sproles, Sharkandrick West, and Danny Woodhead. We like 16 wide receivers: Kamar Aiken, Keenan Allen, Anquan Bolden, Eric Decker, Julian Edelman, Larry Fitzgerald, Percy Harvin, T.Y. Hilton, DeAndre Hopkins, Jeremy Maclin, Brandon Marshall, Jordan Matthews, Allen Robinson, Emmanuel Sanders, Torrey Smith, and Golden Tate. We like 6 tight ends: Martellus Bennett, Antonio Gates, Zach Ertz, Tyler Eifert, Travis Kelce, and Richard Rodgers. We have Washington labeled as all out, meaning that we don't like any of their players. There are no teams that are labeled all in, meaning that we like all of their marginal players in addition to the gimmies. Every week we also recommend 5 of these players as especially strong, and this week's slate includes Eli Manning, Melvin Gordon, Julian Edelman, Brandon Marshall, and Emmanuel Sanders. Thanks for checking us out. Again, for a more comprehensive look at this year's fantasy football season, download our free guide, Fantasy Football Draftology 2015, available on the main page at FantasyDraftHelp.com. Go break off a little value on your opponents in fantasy sports, and be sure to sample our other Nothing is Off-Topic mini episodes, including our recent conversations with superstars such as Chip Carey, Lex Luger, Nikita Koloff, and Bob Barker from the FDH Lounge.
As we bring the show to a close, we would like to extend our deepest gratitude to NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, all Clear Channel affiliates, TNT, TBS, USA, UPN, Deadspin.com, YouTube.com, YTMND.com, MySpace.com, various blogs, Fox News, CNN, CNBC, MSNBC, IamBoard.com, Billboard.com, Google.com, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, ESPN Classic, NBA TV, NFL Network, Sports Time Ohio, Athlon Magazine, Comedy Central, Cartoon Network, The Boomerang Channel, QVC, BET, The Spice Channel, Steno Notebooks, Manwich, Papermate Office Supplies, waitresses, strippers, bartenders, garbage men, janitors, microwave popcorn, the writers of The Office, Scrubs, Entourage, My Name is Earl, Oz, Metalocalypse and the Boondocks, Aquafina, and The Periodic Table of Elements.